never felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day, 'cause I found my way. I found my way.
Is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. You know it. I know it. We all know it. It does not matter who the host is. Anyways, today is Thursday, June the 2nd, day 153 of the year, and only 212 days left to go. You know, we're getting closer and closer to where we start going down the downward spiral. Anyways, how have you been? How has the last 23 hours and change been? Because this is probably about the last time that you and I were incommunicado in this particular format. Seriously, this was probably the last time that we were hanging out and doing our thing together. So how did it go? What'd you do? Anything change? Did your life become significantly different than what it was 23 hours ago? Because that's all it takes is just a little moment in time for things to change up for you. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place.
Radio Big.
Oh, yes, hanging out at RadioBig.fm, because that's where we hang and bang and do all the fun stuff that we get to do. So if you want to come out and do some things with us, you're more than welcome on doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. 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 And that will be the easiest way to interact with us across the sequence of events. Now, the other fun part here that we can talk about is, listen, I love all the social media platforms. Okay, not really, but you understand what I'm saying. But if you want to have direct connection with what we have going on, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com and go to visual radio. That's visual radio. When you get into there, just click on the section that says visual radio. And if you want to do the streamer, that will take you directly into our visual portion of it, and it has the call-in radio button right there, so that will get that moving right away. All brought to you by OneStream. Yeah, so don't worry about that. So let's start talking right away about the things that are going on inside of the multiplex. Okay, no, the multiverse is really what is going on. So here is what was trending yesterday. This is what's trending yesterday and today, so let's talk about that right now. Hashtag Pride Month and LBGTQ landed on Twitter's top 10 trends yesterday in honor of June being Pride Month. The Irishman was trending after Netflix referred to the flick as an expensive vanity project. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a bit. Hashtag Verdict Watch was trending as the world waited for a jury verdict in the Depp Heard trial. We'll talk a little bit more about that because I'm sure people care to know. And then in honor of Global Running Day, many Twitter users shared their running routes. and routines. So there you go. A lot of stuff right there in regards of that. Anyways, yesterday, let's see. What did we see anything big on the trends for the charts and all that? There was a Lara Mason, creative director of Cake Anything, created a life-size cake of Queen Elizabeth in honor of the Platinum Jubilee. The Victoria sponge cake contains 400 eggs, 44 pounds of flours, and 44 pounds of butter. Mason uses TikTok to show off her creation. So I guess if you're really intrigued by those kind of things, you're more than welcome on going to take a gander at it over there as the things are going on. So I will tell you, I want to reference this real quick because I know I've been talking about it for a week or so. I really appreciate the amount of people that have done the sway over to going to the visual radio side on Safety FM. It's just been amazing in regards of the amount of peeps that have come over there to hang out and do all the fun stuff that they get to do there. So thank you for doing this. So let's start talking real quick about what's going to happen here today. We're going to talk about safety. We're going to talk about the news. We're going to talk about safety in the news, and then we're going to move everything forward and talk about that. We're going to bring in some professional broadcasters. They're going to talk about what is going on inside of the mundo of the undo, and we'll do all that kind of fun stuff as we get it all sourced into you in less than 1 hour or so. Yeah. Talk about pressure points in regards to getting stuff done. So we will do all that stuff and get everything moving and grooving, and see how we are able to do all of this, because that's going to be the important part. So let's do that. Anyways, with that being said, let's get us started here with the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. New information is unfolding about the nation's latest mass shooting in Oklahoma. Police say a gunman was targeting someone on the second floor of a Tulsa hospital. Officers were inside the building within 3 minutes of the first 911 call and heard the shots. They opened the door to a doctor's office to find the victims and the suspect dead, saying he was armed with a rifle and a handgun. Oklahoma's governor is calling the mass shooting a senseless act of violence and hatred. Mark Mayfield reports.
Republican Kevin Stitt also expressed gratitude to the first responders who handled the scene and added that he's offered the city any state resources that might be needed. At least 4 people and the gunman are dead following the shooting at St. Francis Hospital. This follows multiple mass shootings in recent weeks, including at a Buffalo, New York grocery store and at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. I'm Mark Mayfield.
The governor of Texas is ordering a safety review of all schools in the state after last week's massacre. He told officials to conduct unannounced random intruder audits. The goal is to find weak access points and see how quickly staff can enter a building without being stopped. Queen Elizabeth thanked everyone in her Platinum Jubilee celebrations ahead of 4 days of pomp, parties, parades, and public holidays marking her 70 years on the throne. Queen's former press secretary, Dickie Arbiter, reflected on the massive crowds hoping to catch a glimpse of the monarch.
They're here because they want to be here. There are those skeptics who say, well, it's just the day out for them. No, it's not just the day out. They're here because they want to be here. They want to celebrate the Queen's 70th anniversary. They want to congratulate her.
The first of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations began at 5 a.m. Eastern Time with a public display of horses and military personnel and parade through London, joined by members of the royal family. And on Wall Street, before the opening bell, stock futures are on the rise as investors dwell on the health of the economy. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. There's been fierce fighting in Severodonetsk as Russian troops try and take full control of the eastern Ukrainian city. Authorities in Japan's western Shimane prefecture have approved a plan to restart a nuclear reactor amid a global energy crunch. After 3 months of respite, India's COVID cases are spiking again, and the UK is beginning 4 days of Platinum Jubilee celebrations for Queen Elizabeth II.
Listen to our host
Of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Johnny Depp says he has his life back after he won his defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard. Brian Shook with more.
In a statement, Depp added, "The best is yet to come and a new chapter has finally begun." Depp sued Heard for $50 million over an op-ed piece she wrote in the Washington Post about domestic violence. The Pirates of the Caribbean star claimed the article hurt his career and caused him to lose roles in films. A Virginia jury awarded Depp $15 million. The jury also found in favor of Heard in some parts of her countersuit against Depp, but only awarded her $2 million.
The Ukrainian defense minister is thanking President Biden for sending advanced rocket systems in its next round of aid. Trey Thomas reports.
The defense minister took to Twitter Thursday to say he was pleased to see the 6 letters for which the whole country has been waiting. HIMARS. That refers to the U.S.-made high-mobility artillery rocket systems that has a range of about 44 miles. The U.S. had resisted sending Ukraine weapons with greater range, fearing Russia would see it as an escalatory step. I'm Trey Thomas.
The 2022 Atlantic hurricane season is here. Florida Democratic State Representative James Bush urges people to plan ahead.
It is critical to prepare now instead of waiting until a storm is imminent.
Government forecasters are predicting another above-average season with 14 to 21 named storms, 6 to 10 hurricanes, and 3 to 6 major storms of Category 3 or higher. Game 1 of the NBA Finals between the Warriors and Celtics will tip off from San Francisco today. The two historic franchises are set to do battle for the Larry O'Brien Trophy. It's the 6th time in 8 seasons Golden State has made the NBA Finals. It's the first appearance for Boston since the 2010 Finals. I'm Michael Kastner.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, 16 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Thursday and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. Anyways, the DeLorean is back with an all-electric car due in 2024. Back in 2024? Oh, God, that was confusing. Known as the Alpha. The company is producing the car that has changed hands and ownership since the 1980s. This is just the latest iteration of the license of the Icon brand. So let's see. Not a whole lot of details about the car yet, other than the concept that it shows it will feature a gull-wing doors made famous by the Time Machine in Back to the Future. So I have to ask the question, if you have the opportunity of buying a DeLorean, will you do it? An all-electric DeLorean. And I mean, after, taking a lightning bolt in the movie, you know some people are going to think that they can do some things that the car did in the movie. Outside of driving, I don't think there's going to be much of anything else that it'll be able to do, but that's just an opinion portion there. That is for sure. Anyways, to continue talking, Sheryl Sandberg is out of Meta, parent company Facebook. She has joined the company back in 2008 and is credited with guiding a young Mark Zuckerberg through some of the company's earliest challenges. She says that she has no immediate work plans, but will work on her family's charitable foundation. She's probably not in a rush either, being that she's worth north of $1.5 billion. Yeah, that's $1.5 billion. When you get to that money, when you get to the 1.5 billion with a B, what do you worry about? I mean, like afterwards, it's like, I think it might be time to sit back and hang out and do some other stuff. When people are making that kind of money, good for them, number one. But it's like, where did I go wrong? What did I do? No, I'm just kidding. Maybe I am kidding. Maybe I don't even know what the hell I'm saying anymore. Anyways, currently 18 minutes past the top of the hour. John Hinckley is out of the clink for good. He was declared insane by a jury after trying to kill President Ronald Reagan back in 1981. Since then, he's been in and out of institutions and prisons, and he was been living independently with restrictions since 2003. So John Hinckley, yeah, ready to roam. So there you go. Anyways, a French thrill seeker has broken the record for most bungee jumps in 24 hours. Françoise-Marie Debon clocked 765 jumps from Tuesday overnight into Wednesday at a pace of nearly one jump for every 2 minutes. His team rotated in and out in shifts at the jump site in Scotland. The feat shattered the previous record of 430 jumps that was made back in 2017. That was May of 2017. So think about that real quick. 765 jumps. How often do you have to change out that bungee cord? And please tell me about the staff that had to help out with that thing, because I am very, very curious here on how that whole thing worked out. Because here's the giga-riga. When you were making that kind of jumps, when you're making that many jumps also as well, how often do you change out the cord? And then from there, the other portion is, who are you trusting with your life? Because it is a life there that you are willing to jump that many times. Seriously, A lot of stuff to talk about as we are talking here on this lovely Thursday. Anyways, let's talk about some other things that are going on around the world here. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is reportedly expected to appoint a gun violence czar. Let's bring in some Scott Pringle for him to tell us some more.
The New York Times reports that Mayor Adams is expected to name Andre Mitchell to the position of gun violence czar. He's the founder of an anti-violence group out of Brooklyn. His role or duties as this czar is unclear, but it'll reportedly be the latest move by Adams to address a high number of shootings. The Times also reports that Adams is considering declaring a state of emergency connected to gun violence. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
I want to understand this a little bit better. What does a gun violence czar exactly do? Like, what is the position and what does it consist of? Because I would love to have a better understanding of those things. It's always amazing to me when you hear something new come up, especially in that kind of sequence. Anyways, let's continue talking inflation pressure. Oh, yes, White House press again on soaring inflation. The White House is being pressed again on the soaring inflation. NBC's Bree Jackson reports.
Republicans blame Democrats' policies for a 40-year high inflation.
So the next time you fill up your car or go to the grocery store, you can thank the Biden administration.
Okay. The Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, that was Senator Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, the White House Press Secretary, pinned much of the blame on the two big factors. She noted that the lingering efforts from the COVID pandemic, including supply chain problems and the global impact of Russia's invasions of Ukraine. Meantime, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has admitted being wrong about the risk of inflation. In March of 2021, Yellen said that the rising inflation posed only a small risk of what the hell was going on out there. So, I mean, let's just be realistic. If you're going out there right now and you are feeling the pinch, regardless of what you're doing, you know something's up. You know that things are going on, and that is the pressure that people are living through at this particular moment in time in that particular regards. So before I get too far into this, I think, for therefore I am, no, that's something else. I need to bring in some Johnny Smalls and let him tell us about what is going on with the Market Beat.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Thursday, June 2nd, 2022. Equities reversed course to fall about 0.75% on the first day of trading of June. The move was driven by a rising fear of economic catastrophe that was brought into sharp focus by JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, who said the U.S. should get ready for an economic hurricane caused by the Fed and the fallout from the Russian invasion of Ukraine. In his view, oil could hit $150 per barrel and drive inflation to new heights. The chart of the S&P 500 is beginning to show signs of weakness in the rebound. The index hit resistance at the key 4,100 level, and right now that resistance is confirmed. If the market cannot get over this level, the least of what we can expect is a retest of support at the 3,900 level. If price action moves below there, and there's no reason why it won't, we think the broad market could fall another 5 to 10% before hitting the next support zone. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one. I am sure that is not what people want to hear. $150 potentially a barrel. Can you imagine that? Could you imagine what gas prices will look like at that particular sequence? So let's talk about this. The Dow slid in the final minutes of the trading after an afternoon rebound on Wednesday to close down 176 points. Wednesday's national gas price is at a new record, clocking in at $4.67. Yeah, $4.67 a gallon. I mean, think about that real quick. Think about how different that is going across the board as we are talking about this. So what are you paying at the pump next to you? I would love to know and hear some of that. So anyways, national average for a gallon of gas will rise to $5. An expert on oil and gas experts, the national average of a gallon of gas regular to jump $5 by mid-June. Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says the prices soaring will have no sign of slowing down.
Americans now spending $623 million more on gasoline just every day compared to a year ago. That's an extremely high cost for the economy.
This comes as 90% of Americans say that they take gas prices into account when deciding to travel this summer. A morning consult survey revealed that 60% of Americans said that they were open to more trips this year than last year. However, the higher prices are causing them to travel short distances, and 1/3 likely to cancel trips altogether. Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says that an exceptional event could cause the national prices to reach $6.
I think we'd have to see an exceptional event for us to get to that $6 mark. A major hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico, shutting down oil production and refineries in that area. That is certainly within the realm of possibility.
You know, this is all stuff that you really don't want to hear first thing in the morning as we are having our little convo here. But I think that we need to talk about this stuff because it's all important as we are hanging and banging and talking on this lovely morning. Just some things to talk about as we are talking here. What else are we seeing across the board? Uvalde School District Police Chief. I talk to DPS every day. A South Texas School District Police Chief is denying claims that he is not talking with the state police investigating a deadly school shooting. Meanwhile, the executive director of the Combined Law Enforcement Association of Texas is urging members of the organization to be truthful and cooperative.
Eventually, we'll have so many narratives running out there that no one will trust the truth when we actually know it.
Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District Chief Pete Arredondo tells CNN that he's in contact with the Department of Public Safety every day. He declined to explain what that means. DPS said yesterday that Arredondo, who is also Uvalde City Council member, refuses to be interviewed on last week's killing of 19 children at Rob's Elementary and 2 teachers by a gunman. Police waited about, an hour to confront the 18-year-old gunman who was later killed by law enforcement. The executive director, Charlie Wilkerson, said that it's important for the office to tell the truth during the investigation.
Law enforcement depends completely on the trust of the community.
He also said that getting the truth is the only way to help the families of the victims get some peace.
To know how and what happened, and so that it could be avoided in the future.
So a lot of stuff going on inside of there as we are talking. What else do we see going on? Water levels at the pump stations and canals are being checked ahead of the storm for South Florida. Let's talk about this real quick. Water levels at the pump stations and canal banks are being closely monitored ahead of the storm. South Florida Water Management District Randy Smith says they are taking a preventive strike against the flooding problems.
To make sure that the local drainage districts are adjusting their canals for what we expect to be very intensive, heavy rainfall. And then we will do the same thing here at the South Florida Water Management District.
Once the district hits the peak point, they will push the overflow into the ocean so local canals can handle the influx. Luckily, they're in good shape and they're in low range with plenty of capacity. You can help too by clearing all your drains and debris. South Florida Water Management District Randy Smith says that local drainage districts are adjusting canals to be prepared for the major influx of rain.
We'll get it out into the ocean and we'll have the canal system at a range where it should be able to accommodate whatever the forecasted rainfall turns out to be.
Smith also goes as far as saying that they're in good shape to be able to handle a big storm for hurricane season.
The district canals are really in what we call a low range, which means that there is quite a bit of capacity in it.
Oh, I love the word capacity on how you're able to have that inside of your systems, because I think that's kind of important as we are talking. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world here. Let's see. Do we want to talk about this? Let's talk about this one. Baltimore City files lawsuit against Ghost Gun Company. Baltimore City is issuing a national largest ghost gun manufacturer is suing them. Yes, they're suing them. Major Brandon Scott says that Polymer 80 has created a public health crisis.
This company
through their business model, is intentionally undermining state and federal firearms laws by designing, manufacturing, selling, and providing ghost gun kits and parts to buyers who do not undergo a background check.
The mayor says the city has to crack down on companies that are profiting off of death and destruction in communities and getting rid of those tools that will help to build get rid of those tools that will help build a safer city. Baltimore police seized 128 ghost guns in 2020, 352 in 2021, and to date, 187 this year. Mayor Brandon Scott says the company must be held accountable for creating a public health crisis.
Takedowns alone are not enough. Legislation alone is not enough. We have to crack down on the companies that are profiting off the destruction and death within our communities.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 31 minutes past the top of the hour. It is the main story time for us to talk about. And man, when I just said main story, why did story like a story? Like you're telling a story that's not truthful, but a story that's going on inside of that. That's not what I meant. It is not one of those stories of fantasy, my friends. It is one of those stories in regards that we need to talk about of things that are going on. So as you are aware, there are hundreds of problems going on, thousands of problems, millions of problems, depending on how you want to take a look at it. But let's talk about problems that will normally consist in being inside of the world that you and I are in. Let's talk about the problems that take place inside of the stuff that you and I do. And it's kind of a simple issue, but a difficult issue to talk about. You are familiar with the term flavor of the month. You've heard it. You know what it is. You know organizations that do it. You know some places that jump in, jump out, and every time that a new flavor comes out, that is where the jumpy umpy should normally come about. So let's talk a little bit about this today. Do you know of organizations or people inside of organizations that are consistently jumping from one thing to another when it comes to the world of safety? They are consistently looking for the new shiny new toy. Now, listen, bear with me as I talk about this, because I know it's not the easiest thing to discuss, and it's going to piss some people off, and I guess that's kind of what we do around here. But think about this for a moment. Why is it there are people that are out there and organizations that are out there, and I'm sure that, we've all been that person at one shape or form at some point in our life, but tend to jump to whatever the new shiny toy is. And here's the thing. You could be locked down for a very long period of time in your belief system of this version of safety is the best, that version of safety is the best, but then you get the people that are out there that they jump from one thing to another because of what we would deem quote unquote repackaging. The repackaging of how safety programs are done. And let's be realistic here. There are people that go out there that take other people's information, other people's science, and repackage it with their lingo. Yes, it happens all the time. And because of this happening, the people that like the shiny new toys, they go looking right away. They go looking and go, that's the new thing that I'm going to be into. It's not that they know. It's not that they don't know. It's a combination of both. The people that are very good at marketing know how to repackage things over and over and over again. Like, I'll tell you, there's this guy that I have watched him do trainings after trainings after trainings. And I want to say that I've been looking at this guy training material since probably about 2007. He has taken his concepts and repackaged them for the last 15 years. And every time that he repackages them, it's something new. And hey, it's worked out for him. He is a very successful person, world-renowned. And just to make sure he's not in the safety space, just to make sure that we're clear here, but very well known throughout the world. I could say his name and you could tell me, oh yeah, I've heard the name, even if you don't know exactly who the person is. But that's the interesting part here. why do we take these repackagings as new shiny toys and gospel that we need to run with, opposed to really taking a look at, I'm not going to say at the core information, but why don't we take a look at the stuff that's there, that we know that's out there, before we say, let's jump into it? Because here's what happens inside of your organization. If you go to, okay, we're going to try this, then we're going to jump to the next thing, and then to the next thing, and then to the next thing, and you're doing this on a consistent basis where you're not sticking to one proposition, one program for a period of time, people are going to believe that you're flavor of the month. And the worst thing that you can probably have, well, inside of a safety thing, inside of a safety department, inside of safety, inside of your organization, well, the worst thing you can have is a death. Let's start off with that. But the next thing that's worse outside of death and accidental dismemberment would be the consideration of people thinking that your program consists of flavor of the month and how much it jumps from one thing to another. Because here's the thing. I have been to organizations where we have been there to do audits, where we have been there to give information, and all of a sudden it goes like this. Well, I'll listen, but we know that already how it goes here. Something new will come a week down the road. So when your flavor of the month is what the program people believe that it is, you're never going to have buy-in. People are constantly going to be looking at, okay, I'll take a listen to this. We'll do some level of this bullshit right now and then move on to the next thing. It's just how it goes. There is no doubt about it. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do differently? Consistency is going to be the key. And I want to say the consistency portion means to be that people make it home safe and there are no dismemberments. But let's be realistic. If there is a minor injury, I'd rather take that minor injury any day of the week over a death or a dismemberment. Let's just be realistic. But what can we do to change that inside of your workplace where people will stop believing that things are literally based on flavor of the week? That is the question that we need to talk about. So if you were taking a look back today at how your policies and procedures and how everything is laid out inside of your organization, do you have a consistent program, or are you flavor of the week? Think about that, because those things will be really important as you take a look down the road.
Oops! What did you just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people. trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
It's a new year, but it's feeling harder than ever to find and hire qualified people you need, especially for small businesses. That's where LinkedIn Job comes in. They make it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of the most qualified people. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who'd you like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number one in delivering qualified hires versus leading competitors. I have to tell you that we have used LinkedIn Jobs to even find some of the people that we have here at Safety FM. LinkedIn Jobs can help you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your jobs for free on linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to tell them that you heard it right here on Safety FM.
I know I'll be okay, 'cause I found my way. I found my way. 'Cause I found my way, my way, my way, my way, my way. 'Cause I found my way, my way, my way, my way, my way. I found my way, I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day, 'cause I found my way, I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay, 'cause I found my way.
There you go. 42 minutes past the top of the hour. You and I are hanging out and banging. Here we go. This is I Found My Way by Hallman and Elwin.
'Cause I found my way.
This song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. Yep, I found my way. There you go. Thanks to Hallman and Elwin for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Oh, yes. Anyways, let's get back into it because I think it's important for us to start yabbing and talking and balking on all that kind of fun stuff. So as we start talking, I have to tell you, because I can't go a day without talking about this, I have to tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose life has been impacted by suicide and depression. To find out more information, all you have to do is call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. Or text the word TALK to 741-741. You can also go to their website at afsp.org. That is afsp.org. Learn about what is going on inside of your local community. Learn about mental health and learn about what is going on, anything related to COVID-19, on how it has had some major impacts inside of this information right here. Listen, every single day we will talk about this because it's so important to have this communication in regards of what is going on inside of the actual world itself. So with that being said, go to their website, afsp.org, or call 1-800-273-8255, or text the word TALK to 741-741. 741. There you go. Anyway, let's continue talking a little bit more about some things that are going on inside of this world of ours, because I think it is going to be important as we talk and move. Anyway, CSP, more fentanyl seizures in 2022 than 2021. And keep in mind that we're just in June. The law enforcement in Colorado is seeing dramatic rise in fentanyl as the use and deaths this year.
We have seen about 225 pounds of fentanyl. We talk about how deadly it is, and we're talking about the top of a pin. 225 pounds year to date that Colorado State Troopers have taken out of cars being smuggled into Colorado.
Colonel Matthew Package with the Colorado State Patrol says that the amount surpasses the amount of fentanyl seized in 2021. More than 70% of opioid-related deaths in Colorado can be traced back to fentanyl. Colonel Matthew Package with Colorado State Patrol says the residents need to be aware of the fentanyl crisis in their local community.
If you are addicted to fentanyl or an opioid or drugs, or someone that you love or care about is addicted to this drug, you have no more wiggle room. The time to act is now.
So a lot of stuff going on right there as we are talking. What else do we have? Do we have going on inside of this world? I'm sure we have still tons of stuff that we could take a listen to. Because it was making the sequences yesterday, I will talk about this, but normally not something I would talk about on this show, but let's do it anyways. Johnny Depp is the winner in his defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard. Heard's attorney told Today's Show that her client will appeal.
She was demonized here. A number of things were allowed in this court that should not have been allowed, and it caused the jury to be confused.
A Virginia jury agreed with Depp that Heard acted with actual malice and agreed that every one of Depp's defamation counts against Heard. He was awarded $15 million. The amount was lowered to about $10.4 million due to the law in Virginia. The jury also found in favor of Heard with some parts of the $100 million countersuit against Depp, but only awarded $2 million. Depp sued Heard for $50 million over the op-ed piece that she wrote in the Washington Post about domestic violence. The Pirates of the Caribbean star claimed that the article hurt his career and caused him to lose films. Heard's attorney said that she has no doubt that the strong sentiment against her client on social media affected the jury, even though they were told not to look at it.
It's like the Roman Colosseum, how they viewed this whole case. I was against cameras in the courtroom, and I went on record with that and had argued against it because of the sensitive nature of this. But it made it a zoo.
So did at any point, regardless of who the winners and the losers might have been on this whole thing, did you think that no one was going to appeal? I mean, like, at any point, was there any thought process where you said, you know something, when this court case is done, no one is going to appeal this thing? Now, I don't think that was ever a portion of the conversation of the things that were going on. Just throwing that out there. Anyways, not the first time that mindless and social media have been in the same sentence. Have you ever lost track of time of mindless scrolling through social media feeds? Of course you have. We all do it. We all, here's your excuse. You entered a dissociative state, which not only made time irrelevant, you totally lost track of reality. University of Washington researchers watched as a group of social media users interacted with Twitter-like platforms. Sure enough, many appear to space out while enjoying the app, where they became almost unaware of everything else in their lives, but couldn't help but keep the scrolling. The study led to authors that said that the likes to refer to this as the phenomenon of dissociation rather than addiction, because everyone naturally disassociates with many ways throughout our day, whether they are daydreaming, watching TV, or surfing the net. The researchers found that this isn't a result of users' lack of self-control, and taking these mindless breaks can actually be restorative. Restorative for what? So you can watch even more TikTok? I mean, I don't know. But really, how long can you possibly spend on the toilet before your legs go numb? Now, that's a good question. That's a good question. Have you ever sat on there just and all of a sudden realize, hey, I can't feel my legs because I've been scrolling through my phone, pad, whatever, for such a long period of time? I don't even know how that came about.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Anyway, scientists say, as well as helping us feel alive in the morning, it turns out that a daily cup of coffee might actually keep us alive longer too, even though if we put sugar in it. A new study by scientists from the Southern Medical University in China examined coffee consumption habits and the health of 171,000 people over 7 years. People who drank unsweetened coffee were 16 to 21% less likely to die during the study that non-coffee drinkers went through. While people consumed 1 to 4 cups of lightly sweetened coffee, were 29 to 31% less likely to die. Tune in next week for another completely contrary study on how the health affects the coffee. So there you go. We'll talk about that next week. When is the best time to work out? Well, for optimal results, and it depends on your gender. According to a study from Skidmore College in New York, researchers monitored 56 people over the course of 12 weeks fitness programs, which included sprinting, stretching, resistance, and endurance training. The good news is that all took part of the study saw better overall health, regardless of when they exercised, but it was determined that the women saw best results if they exercised in the evening, while for men, the best time was the morning. The factors, the difference was that the sexes are likely to be hormonal differences, biological clocks, and sleep-awake cycles. The author said, "For me, morning isn't the best time for anything." So there you go. That's why we do this show during the time. What the hell just happened there? Anyways, I think before we get too far into it, because it is almost 52 minutes past the top of the hour, we should probably bring in some Johnny Smalls for him to tell you about what is going on with the Motivational Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Earl Nightingale said, "We become what we think about most of the time, and that is the strangest secret." This sure is true. If you spend your time thinking about your side gig, it grows and it could actually take over and become your main gig. But if you focus on the job you have, it can also help lead to better things there. I think the biggest struggle is really trying to figure out just what you really want to do in life. Once you've got that figured out and you've got a destination in mind, just focus on that destination until you get there. And if that's what you're daydreaming about and you're having vivid dreams each night about that, chances are you'll eventually make it there. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quote can be submitted for an upcoming program at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlessaMorgan.com. Have you ever wondered how is appetite affected by our sleep quality? When we are sleep deprived, our brain receives a cascade of hormones that signals starvation, which makes us want to eat more and we are less satisfied with food. The reason for that is because human beings seem to be the only species that deprive themselves of sleep for no reason. The only time sleep deprivation happens in nature is when animals are under condition of starvation and need to stay awake longer to forage for food. Due to this evolutionary condition, the brain goes into the state of an illusion of starvation and increases hormone called ghrelin, which makes you want to eat more, suppressing hormone leptin, which signals satiety. If we combine that with lack of motivation to exercise and burn fewer calories, this demonstrates how lack of sleep impacts our appetite. For more, check out AlessaMorgan.com.
Okay, there you go. There you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world here as we are speaking, hanging and banging, moving and grooving, and all of that great information going on inside of the world. So there you go. So let's talk a little bit more about some things that happened and that are, well, matter of fact, should we talk about the things that happened back on this day or should we talk about something else? Let's talk about this real quick. No winner for Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing. Friday's night drawing will be for a $189 million jackpot or $109.9 million cash payout. So there you go. That is the way that you can play the game if you're so inclined to do so. So there you go. Anyways, we're looking back on this date, things that occurred. Let's take a gander. Back in 2017, director Patty Jenkins earned $100 million domestically in the opening weekend for Wonder Woman. The box office hit a new domestic record for a female director. that happened back in 2017. Anyways, if you're looking at some birthdays that are occurring today, let's talk about that. Brittany Curran turns 32. Sergio Aguero turns 34. Amber Marshall turns 34. Abby Watchman turns 42. Justin Long, 44. Dominic Cooper, 44. AJ Styles turns 45. Zachary Quinto, 45. Wayne Brady, 50. Wentworth Miller, 50. Joey Coy, 51. Beetlejuice comedian turns 54. Andy Cohen turns 54. Dana Carvey turns 67. Maureen Chantum turns 82. So there you go. That is what is going on in the days for birthdays, if you're so inclined to wanting to know that information right there. Here we go. Let's talk about Did You Know? Researchers have made an odd discovery of male mice. Bananas stress them out. Scientists at McGill University in Montreal were studying the reaction of male mice to pregnant females. Male mice are known for sometimes killing pups. So heavily pregnant and lactating females mice might emit chemicals to warn these males away. The authors found that the compound found in female mice urine is similar to one found in some fruits that are used to produce banana extract. Researchers observed that chemical compounds in the bananas triggered a stressful response in male mice, similar to the stress response when about to engage in a fight. So there you go. Some things that you probably did not know, and maybe also at some point things that you probably did not care to know. And now we know both. I guess Jerry was very excited about talking about things that you did not know. So anyways, with that being said, let's continue in you. If you're looking at some days to celebrate for today, I have some of those for you, so we can do that right away. National Rotisserie Chicken Day, National Bubba Day, National Rocky Road Day, Fish and Chip Day. So there you go. Some days right there to do. So if you need a random joke for today, here we go. I married my wife for her looks, but not for the ones that she's giving me lately. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What food do you think people only pretend to like? Caviar, kale, tonic water, Marmite, Jell-O salad. So just some stuff there. If you need something for the water cooler, try this one. In a survey, 2/3 of women said that they are having one of these makes a man undateable. What is it? A ponytail. So there you go. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show exclusively on Radio Big.FM and Safety FM. Safety FM is the home of real safety talk. Thank you for being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. Without you, we cannot do what we do around here. That is for sure. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Never rest until your good is better and your best is best. Think about it in that particular fashion. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you. Well, I'm not going to say goodbye yet because you can still come over to Radio Big if you want and come and hang out. Now, love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Somewhere I can't find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found find my way, my way, my way. My way, 'cause I find my way.